Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining B.J. Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Now, here's Jay Tust and B.J. Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, good morning. How we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Friday to you. You've reached the final day of the work week here, and we appreciate you for starting it off with us. My name is B.J. Rains with Bronco Nation News. We got Jay Tust, Sports Director at KTVB. And, Jay, it's Friday, man. We made it to the end of the week. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday, bud. How was breakfast over at the school this morning?
Well, they had now, of course, I was one of the ones that RSVP'd, but the principal made a little announcement. First of all, there was a little bit of a line. There was a little bit of a issue with the seating in the cafeteria, and it turns out there were a lot more parents that showed up than RSVPs, so they were running low on donuts as well. So, but I RSVP'd, and I took my donut legally. Actually gave my kids my donut. I'm trying to watch the carbs here, but yeah, I had a little fun breakfast with the kiddos. They showed me around the school a little bit, so that was fun. And then they elected to go out to the playground for the 10 minutes to wait in the 20-something degree weather instead of staying inside. So I decided to head back. But yeah, good little fun breakfast with the kiddos, and now back to work here. So you'll be just wait, man. You're gonna have all the daddy-daughter dances and all that stuff coming up here before you know it.
Can't wait, man. Yeah.
That's the one thing I'll never get to do, I guess. I'm never going to get a daddy-daughter dance.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
No. I can pretty much assure you that will never happen again. We've got two boys, but I'll let Karen handle the son mom dances or whatever they have on that side. But
the alliteration quite isn't quite there like the daddy.
But you're just starting to get to that stuff, right? You're going to be getting there pretty soon.
Did gymnastics yesterday. She crushed it, loved it. She's big into swim lessons right now too. So it's like the best thing ever, basically.
It is. Everyone tells you what it's like to be a parent, and it's although there are times where it's not feeling as great, but for the most part, especially as they get a little older now, and somehow, Jay, maybe this is a topic for another day, but I got roped in because they were low on coaches. I have to get some tips from our buddy Justin Schultz, but I will be the head coach of not one but two kids baseball teams this spring. So I was going to do one. The other league was low and didn't want to hurt the league and have them have 17 kids on a team or something. So we will be the head coach of the coach pitch league, and then of my son Naismith's second grade league, whatever that is. So we'll have plenty of highlights and things to come. My goal is to not get ejected from any games this year.
I think the goal's got to be to get ejected from just one.
Yeah, second grade baseball, that might not be a good look. I think we're going to try to avoid that. But
I've seen you evaluate refs on the sidelines of Boise State games.
I don't know. I will be starting a Ken Palm column for second grade home plate umpires in the Meridian Youth Baseball League. Yes,
I love it.
Hey, appreciate everybody for checking us out. We got a fun show today. As always, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. Make sure you pick up more than one of their 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Let them do all the mixing for you, and it's ready to go right there in a can. 2 for $7 Again, Cutwater Spirits at your local gas station or grocery store. I want to talk a little basketball, Jay. Obviously, mostly basketball, but you got the Mountain West race heating up. We got the win the other night. You got Boise State in action tomorrow. I'll be doing the down and back in the same day tomorrow to San Jose. So looking forward to heading down in the morning. You got the game, and then there's thankfully to Alaska Airlines a flight that I'll be running to catch to try to make it back tomorrow night after the game. But turns out to be a pretty big game for Boise State. And then a little tease. I didn't want to put this on social media, Jay, because I wanted this to be for the loyal viewers that watch every show to begin with that were already planning to watch today. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert tonight. If you want to go to the Old Dominion concert tonight, you have to be a paying subscriber, by the way. So I guess you have 20 minutes to hurry up and try to do that. But if you're a paying subscriber, Jay Tust is going to have a trivia question for you before we're out of here today. And if you get the question right, the first person to reply on the YouTube, and hopefully this is not one that somebody can go quickly Google, Jay. But 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert as a subscriber for Bronco Nation News coming up. Do you have a good question ready, Jay?
I feel like I do. I feel like it's one that fans will enjoy. I also feel like there could be a super intense fan that would know the answer to this question.
Well, we want somebody to know it at some point.
Well, and it has to be. You said Googleable, hopefully not quickly. It would take you a few minutes to figure it out. So I feel like if somebody's really dialed in,
okay,
they'll be able to figure it out quicker than whoever might be kind of Googling it.
I'm intrigued. So if you want 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert and you're a paying subscriber, stay tuned. Jay will have the question before we get out of here. The new bracketology just released. We got some numbers from the new net rankings as well. Let's start with bracketology, though, Jay. The good news, Boise State, at least in Joe Lenardi's mind, no longer on the quote-unquote bubble. They are up to a number 9 seed in Joe Lenardi's new bracket this morning. The bad news, it'd be a very similar matchup to last year against Memphis. He technically, and again, you look more at the seeding, than the matchup, but you look at the type of teams you could play. He's got Boise State going up against Kentucky in the first round.
That's hilarious. You're right. That would be very similar to last year, even more name recognition, obviously, than Memphis even. Man, BJ,
I'll take the 9 seed. I'll take the 9 seed. I'll take the positive from that, and just you cross your fingers you don't end up playing Kentucky.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Boise State should be a 6 seed at this moment, but I also don't think that they should be on the bubble. Like it's wild to me. Now I don't have my own way of doing these predictions, whatever you want to call them. So I guess it's a little difficult for me to be too critical about it, but I just don't understand how, up until today, I guess that Lunardi had him in his last 4 buys. Like you look at all the metrics and it just doesn't add up to me. I mean, the net rankings, BJ, were created to more accurately and identify the who's of college basketball, right? It was going to simplify the process, and simply put, instead of using like 5 evaluations, they kind of use like 2 metrics they like, essentially, I believe. And so the net rankings are, of all the rankings, correct me if I'm wrong, are the most important rankings, right?
In deciding the quad system and everything, yes. Yep.
So I don't know why Boise State's been in the top 30 of those things for almost the entire, calendar year, or not calendar year, but ever since 2023. I want to say they jumped into the top 30 on like January 10th, and it is now February 24th. And for the most part, they've actually been ranked in the top 25 of those things. And so I don't quite understand why some people are so slow to elevate Boise State to that, to a 7 or an 8 seed, I guess. Like that seems like it's pretty reasonable right now, which would also suggest you have a little bit of breathing room. And right now, it's like if Boise State slips up, like they just don't.
They lose to San Jose tomorrow, and people are going to be saying, "Oh, are they going to make the tournament?" All
Yeah.
of a sudden, it's
They're
like
going to go to Dayton. Yeah, it's just. I
totally agree with you. You look at it, and have a little relationship with Gary Parrish, who, again, he's not on the selection committee, but he ranks teams. He does this every day for a living. I sent him that exact text about 2 days ago. It was before the New Mexico game. I think it was the day of the New Mexico game or the day before. I said, what am I missing here, Gary? If you don't mind, if you get a chance, when you get time, I know you're busy, but I said, I look at the numbers. I look at the metrics. I think Boise State should be way higher than what they are. What am I missing here? And I think we may have discussed this on Tuesday's show. I forget, but his basic response was one quad one win and 2 quad 3 losses is essentially what he said. So he's saying they have a lot of good wins, but in his mind, they don't have a lot of great wins, and they also have 2 quote unquote bad losses if you're going quad 3. I hate to say it's like that easy, but when you're deciding and trying to decipher between all these teams, they look on the front end, how many quad 1 wins or what's your record in quad 1, and they look on the back end. And Boise State, that's why I think they could definitely – you got some help last night. I didn't think Charlotte would go all the way to 100.
Yeah.
But they picked up 5 spots, which at this point is pretty good. They've got 3 winnable games to finish the regular season. 2 they should win for sure, and then 1 against UAB, which would be they're projected to lose by 1, I think, which would be another good bump in the computer system. If Charlotte can finish strong and get they're at 105 right now. If they can get above 100, that makes it the quad 3 loss go to quad 2. And then on the flip side, if you can get Nevada and or Utah State up into that top 30, you're adding quad 1 wins to your resume. So at the same time, you'd have better wins and only 1 quote unquote bad loss. It's crazy. Boise State could not play another game, and their resume could get significantly different and better. And it's crazy to say, but if like both of those things happened, if they went to 3 quad 1 wins and only 1 quad 1 loss, and that's where they were sitting at right now, they could be a 5 or 6 seed. So it's just crazy how close the numbers are, but how big of a difference that seems to make. And I hate to say it, Jay, but when these teams just aren't watching every game. Sure, you look at the net ranking. What are they, 24 today? You should say, 24, 6 times 4, 24. They should be in the 6-7 range. And you know what? I will say this. If you go look at the history of the net rankings, as I kind of go on a tangent here, that is basically more in line with what it is than the Joe Lenardis or the Jerry Palms. So I'm not like, you shouldn't, like, Boise State fans shouldn't feel like super confident that they're going to be better off than it looks. But like, if you go by last year, guess what? They were net 32 and they were the last 8 seed or whatever. So they were 32 and they were 8. So like within 1 seed line, the net ranking has been on average in the 5 years they've done it within 1 seed line, like 85% of the time. So not to say like ignore Joe Lenardi and Jerry Palm, but for whatever reason that the committee has shown, they will take the net ranking maybe a little more serious than those guys have to this point. But with that said, there's still a lot of opportunities here. And for whatever reason, what you are in quad 1 and what you are in quads 3 and 4 really does seem to matter to a lot of these people making the brackets. So you get a quad 2 game tomorrow. You get 2 quad 1 games to finish the regular season. And then maybe you get a little help with Nevada tonight. Maybe Nevada wins big tonight and goes into quad 1 tomorrow. You have the Mountain West tournament, I know, but Boise State seems to be in a pretty good spot, Jay. Now Lenardi's got him up to the 9, which we think should be 7 or 8 or 6. And then you throw in what they still have left on the schedule and what that net ranking could look like by the end of the season. I still think they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I was actually kind of looking at it almost from a little bit of another way there, BJ. So when you look at kind of Lunardi's like rankings at times, and I'm not saying like 100% or anything like that, but the BPI, the Basketball Power Index, that's more of an ESPN metric. And if you kind of look at how he seeds teams sometimes, it feels like it might favor that a little bit more than it does, the net rankings. And so I think that's kind of the direction that he might be. I think that might be the criteria that he uses a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. It's all fascinating to me. I keep track of it all like we all do. I mean, like, I am totally a sucker. Anytime like I get a text alert or see on Twitter that something is there's the new brackets out or projection or whatever, I absolutely click on it and then I retweet it and all that stuff. So I am 100% a sucker for it, like every other college basketball fan. But that doesn't mean that I can't be just a little bit critical of it as well, I guess.
Yeah, as USA Today, apparently their newest bracket has Boise State as an 8, San Diego State as a 6, Nevada as a 10. In terms of the Kentucky matchup, a dominant big, our kryptonite, and yeah, no doubt, Oscar Tshiebwe, the National Player of the Year last year. Jalen Duren was tough enough last year when you had Mladen Armouche. Oscar Tshiebwe might go for 50 and 30 against the inside here without a dominant big for Boise. And I say that kind of facetiously, but yeah, that would not be a good matchup. And again, you're looking more at the seeding and even maybe the location than you are the opponent. But the types of opponents in that 8-9 range or who you could play. And I will say this, Jay, most of the time, those 8-9 games are underachieving Power 5 teams. Like you get most of the time, and I'll just go look here real quick. Yep, and one of the 8-9s is NC State and Rutgers. One of them is Arkansas and Illinois in the 8-9 game. You've got Iowa and Nevada, and then you've got Kentucky and Boise State. So you usually get underachieving teams in the 8-9 game that are probably super talented, which is kind of what you had with Memphis last year.
Yep, exactly.
So you would like to get to the 7-10 for a lot of reasons, Jay. Sorry to cut you off. If you can get up to the 7-10, then you get the 2 in the second round, not the 1 as well.
Which is typically better. So yeah, that would be a great great position to be in for Boise State if they can do it. And I still kind of remain, I basically said, last week that Boise State needs to win 4 of their final 6 games in any way, shape, or form. And I feel like they feel really, really good about their postseason chances. And that does include the first Mountain West game potentially, because that's the last guaranteed game of the season, if you will. So if they beat San Jose State, and even if they lose hypothetically to San Diego State and at Utah State, but win their opening round matchup at the Mountain West tournament, I still love their chances to be a part of, the dance, to get another invite to March Madness and roll the dice, if you will. So we'll see if they can do that. And I'm not even so certain. Like I say, if they were to drop San Jose State or San Diego State and Utah State, but man, I don't know if they will. Like I got confidence they're going to go compete. I mean, if you look at whenever Najee Smith and Marcus Shaver Jr. are healthy, happy, and in the starting lineup together, along with Tyson Degenhart, Max Rice, and Chibuzo Abo, that starting 5 right there, when healthy, is damn near unbeatable. BJ, they're 18-2 together in the starting lineup, and that's their two losses
by 2 points.
Both of those losses are by 2 points. So you kind of go back over time and you look at the Charlotte game, and Naj had yet to step in the starting lineup. Obviously, the San Diego State game down at Viejas, Marcus Shaver Jr. wasn't there. Marcus Shaver Jr. also didn't play against Santa Clara. So if you see when those guys are in the starting lineup together, it's really, really hard to beat Boise State, and only 2 teams have. Both of them were on the road in hostile environments by 2 points, essentially one in overtime, and the other one one was in overtime, and essentially one at the buzzer, right? So I like their chances together, and I like their chances at Extra Mile Arena against San Diego State. It's proven to be a very, very difficult place to play.
No doubt about it. And I thought the crowd the other night was awesome. I want to talk about that, but briefly, just for folks that are curious, he's got Nevada in the last 4. This is the new Joe Lenardi bracketology. Jay has Nevada in the last 4 buys, and then he has Utah State as the second team out of the tournament, and he has New Mexico in the next 4 out, technically as the 8th team out of the tournament. So Utah State, second team out of the tournament, Jay. Who knows what's going to be on the line for Boise State in that game next Saturday in Logan, but at least on Joe Lenardi, he's now got Utah State right there in the mix. With what's going on. I mean, the second team out, you're right there. So if Utah State, they got a couple big games left and a lot to play for here still.
You're darn right they do, and that's why they almost desperately need a win against Boise State in Logan. That place is never fun to travel to. It's usually a pretty raucous atmosphere, so that they're definitely going to be tuned up when Boise State travels down there on March 4th to play.
He's got Nevada also as a 9 seed, so he's got him his last 4.
That's actually a little more respectable then. I mean, he's coming around a little bit, I think.
Do you think, and again, I think this is a direct result of the quads, because I think New Mexico or Nevada has 3 quad 1 wins, I believe. Yeah. And so I think this is a direct result of that, but I'm a little surprised, and maybe not with what I just said, but Nevada seems to be a little higher than Boise State in most of the bracket projections, or a little.
Yeah. And I will say about Nevada that they don't have any losses outside of quad 2. They're 12-0 in quad 3 and 4 combined, 7-0 in quad 3, 5-0 in quad 4. They do have 5 quad 1 losses, but it's tough to fault the team. But they have 3 quad 1 wins too. I mean, that's sometimes BJ, you see like these rankings, like so and so is 1 in 10 all time against top 5 teams. Well, you're not supposed to beat top 5 teams. Like, that's probably a pretty reasonable record, to be honest with you.
It's like your record when trailing after the 8th inning or something. It's
exactly. Like, it's not supposed to be good. So a 3-5 record against quad 1 teams for Nevada, that's actually pretty darn good. I will say this about Boise State. I know that they have a lot of quad 2 wins. They didn't have like a ton last year. I've been
trying to find that. Do you know if there's a way to go back and look at the net ranking on certain days like last year? I would love to know their exact record going into at the end of the regular season and then after the conference tournament in terms of the quad system and all that and their net ranking.
I guess the funny thing is that I do know, BJ, that Boise State was 22-6 on this date last year. They finished
24-7 in the regular season. Boise State actually has a chance to do better than that if they were to win out. Yeah.
Yeah, and despite the fact they might have one more conference loss. Or no, I guess no. If they went out, then they would match last year's conference.
Would you agree that it seemed like the Mountain West tournament meant almost nothing for Boise State in terms of their seeding, or the fact that they would have been much more on the bubble, I guess, than we thought because they had lost to Nevada. All of a sudden, you're thinking maybe they're a 10 seed or something. They end up with the 8 when they beat Wyoming and beat San Diego State in the championship game. But I guess we just
they're about 8 spots higher, BJ. They're about 8 spots higher, I believe, at this point in time this year than they were last year. They were hovering right around 32 at this point in time last year. It looks like they went into the Mountain West tournament right around net 30.
I think they were 32 going into on Selection Sunday, if I remember right, because I remember thinking that 8 seed and 32 was right in line with where they should have been. I just wonder, like, we keep saying, oh, they might get 2 or 3 more quad 1 games in the Mountain West tournament. Like, based on last year, that may not matter. That bracket might be set by Thursday afternoon.
It very well might be.
I don't think they're making huge seed line jumps in the last 2 days of the. Oh, they got another quad 1 win. They should be a 6 instead of a 7. I think most of that's already decided.
In addition to like this NCAA tournament stuff, I'm also fascinated to see who's going to wind up on first team when it comes to these Mountain West postseason awards.
Hold on to that for a second. Let me thank a couple sponsors, and we'll get into that in just a second. Rowpaint.com, 15% off. They're offering the promo code BNN15. That's right. Use the promo code BNN15. You get 15% off the interior painting of your home. They're also scheduling for those concrete coatings. Perfect time now to get on the books for your garage, your back patio. The Raines family has done it. It's transformational. It's worth every penny. Make sure you check them out at rowpaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, they will buy your used vehicle. That's right. Even if you don't want to buy from them, which I find highly unlikely, they will give you a cash offer on the spot for your trade. Go check out their full inventory of cars at lithiafordboise.com and do what the Raines family did. Purchase a vehicle from Lithia Ford of Boise, and you will not be disappointed. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And again, we got some cool basketball news coming up that we were just tipped off about. We're going to have a cool little feature. We're giving away those Old Dominion tickets as well, so don't go anywhere. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. The easiest in mobile eBranch online banking. You can get more information at ICCU.com. You're looking for a new job? Check out Transportation Compliance Service. They can help you every step of the way get in the trucking industry. They can help you with the permits and things and get you out there towing that first load in no time, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck in your neighborhood. Make sure you check them out, Transportation Compliance Service, and our other major sponsor at Bronco Nation News, the Blue and Orange Store. They got all the great gear, the retro sweatshirts, the coaches' sideline apparel, the NIL shirts, Degenhart, Shaver, all those guys. You can go into the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall and pick up a shirt today. Or if you're not in the Boise area, you can go to the blueandorangestore.com and get free shipping on any order over $40. Yeah, we're just tipped off as a little heads up. There'll be a little bit of Boise State NIL-related news coming out in about 7 minutes, and then we're going to tell you about that and add that to the show here. And we're going to give away the Old Dominion tickets in just a couple of minutes as well. But, Jay, you were talking about the all-conference team. I think there's anywhere from 8 to 10 players you can make a serious argument for should be on the first team.
It's crazy, man. And each of those players, like, you can make like some type of argument that they deserve to be maybe the Mountain West Player of the Year, you know? And there's 3 guys at Boise State that deserve at least to be a part of some type of discussion when it comes to that. And Tyson Degenhart's pretty obvious. Marcus Shaver Jr. might be a little less obvious. And then the guy that just kind of flies under the radar maybe more than either of those two is Max Rice. We saw what he did the other night, put up 30 points, 22 in the second half. Without Max Rice, they don't win that game, man. Like, he has been unbelievably consistent all season long. And despite the fact he's playing with a back injury, he never grimaces or shows any weakness or any of that stuff. He just lines up and plays 37, 38 minutes a night and is really, really productive and consistent for his basketball team. So what he did the other night was phenomenal. He deserves some type of recognition. I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but considering the way that, Rice, Shave, and Dagan Hart have all played this season, they all have tremendous value to this basketball team.
I think Max Rice is no worse than the third team All Mountain West player. I think that's a given. He should be on the all conference team somewhere. We'll find out, in terms of the first team and guys splitting votes and all that. I'll tell you this: if Boise State even shares the title, even if they share the title, I think Leon Rice has to be the coach of the year. Has to be. There was a lot of love for Tim Miles and everything, and I get it, but they're 7-8 in the Mountain West right now. They're still doing much better than they should have. He still deserves a lot of credit. But I'm not sure a 500 finish in the Mountain West is enough to be the coach of the year. You look at who Boise State lost and what they had coming back and how the season started. And, I think that, Brian Dutcher's done a nice job, but they got a lot of the same players back from last year, and they were projected to win the league. And so if you get the third place team to
Bradley,
move up
all those guys came back.
Yeah, I think that I think Leon Rice has to be square in the conversation right now for Mountain West Coach of the Year.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Extremely impressed with what Leon's been able to do. He's built a program, not a team. They're sustaining this thing, and his consistency is pretty freaking remarkable. And so that guy walks around with such a smile on his face that he does a good job of hiding the grind, I guess. It is a grueling process. Like, man, BJ, I don't know about you, but after that late game on Sunday night, and then the game on Wednesday runs until 11:30 or so. We don't get out of there till almost midnight. At least me.
Midnight. I would have loved midnight. I
had to go back to the station to finish some stuff up.
Okay.
So I left the state. I left the arena about midnight. But I'm feeling it, man. Like it feels like we're back in the old Mountain West football kickoff days where it was like 8:45 and you're getting home at 1, 2 a.m. And oh man,
that's what I tweeted actually when I walked out of there. And shout out to Nate Lowry, the SID. When I left about 1:30, I think it was 1:45 was when I left. Nate Lowry was still there working at his courtside seat as well. So shout out to Nate Lowry. But yeah, we got home about 2:15, and I tweeted that's what I said when I left the arena, that it felt like one of those 8:15 football games.
Yeah.
Closing down the thing, and the old folks are already getting up to go to Denny's for breakfast or whatever, and the sun's coming up, and you're heading home to go to bed for a few hours.
Yep.
Colin Mitchell does say it feels like Steve Alford. He deserves some credit as well with what he's done at Nevada. But if they finish third,
that's why we keep calling around, because that actually is extremely reasonable, Colin.
But if they finish third, I don't know.
But they were picked to finish like 9th, and to lose Grant Sherfield and Desmond Cambridge to the transfer portal and somehow actually get a whole lot better is
part of that was how bad they were last year, though. They so far underachieved last year that it's hard for me to. The expectations were low this year. It's hard for me to turn around.
He's another guy that found a way to solve team chemistry and talent at the same time. To where last year they had talent, and apparently maybe their team chemistry wasn't as elite as it needed to be to win a lot of games. So
what do you make?
I will say Steve Alford does deserve to be in the conversation as well.
What do you make of tomorrow's game against San Jose State? Obviously going to be a quad 2 game for Boise State. Boise State only beat them by 3 last time they played in Boise, back in the beginning of the conference season. What's your take on the game? And then there's some comments, what happens if Boise State loses? How do you think this game impacts all what we've been talking about for the last 28 minutes? This is
almost what I was trying to allude to here. It's like, I'm tired, you're tired. Imagine if you're playing 38, 40 minutes of college basketball. These guys, this really is kind of a tough little grinding portion of their schedule right now that they got to get through. And they have this game that they got to go down to San Jose State, which, even though San Jose State's a lot better this year, is still going to be a very sleepy environment. They're going to have to generate their own energy some way, shape, or form, probably like they never really had to do so far this season, with the exception of that trip to Colorado Springs to play Air Force. And that was a really kind of awkward game for Boise State. So, it is just an interesting trip, an interesting matchup. San Jose State's a lot better than they've been in the past. And Boise State's going to have to just go find a way to win a game out on the road and bring this thing back to Extra Mile Arena for a massive Tuesday showdown that against San Diego State, which could ultimately determine the Mountain West Conference champion. If San Diego State comes here and wins, I haven't kind of projected it out yet because I haven't really wanted to, but that might do it for them in terms of locking up the league. Meanwhile, if Boise State were to win, they could, go to Logan with a chance to, at the very least, clinch a share of the Mountain West Conference regular season title. So, it's just an interesting matchup that shouldn't be, overlooked, I'd
say. If Boise State wins tomorrow, and if San Diego State loses, Boise State could cut down the nets on Tuesday. I mean, they could. I don't know how Boise State would handle that, but Boise State would clinch a share of the title if they win on Tuesday on senior night against San Diego State.
Do you really cut down nets if you clinch a share of it?
Yeah, but then if you lose to Utah State, you never got to celebrate. You never got your celebration, and you're the champions. You're back-to-back champions. I think you totally do. I would. They might not, but I would. If you have a chance in front of your fans on senior night to clinch back-to-back Mountain West championships, even if it is a co-championship, if you clinch it, beating a ranked San Diego State team, punching your ticket to March Madness, all unofficially with that win, I think you totally do. In San Diego State, it'd be the same thing for them, but they would clinch a share if they won, but they'd be going home to play Colorado State. They probably feel like they can win that and celebrate it at home.
Yeah.
We'll see. By the way, somebody did mention the tickets, Jay. Tickets are going very fast for the San Diego State game. Not a lot of tickets left if you look on there. So if you are wanting to go to the San Diego State game, tickets are very scarce. Make sure you look at that. Jay, do you have your question ready?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to thank our last group of sponsors. And then if you want to go to the Old Dominion concert tonight and you're available to go tonight, 2 tickets. They're not the greatest seats in the world, but they're not terrible. If you want to go to the Old Dominion concert tonight, we got 2 tickets we're giving away, courtesy of Timberstone Golf Course. Timberstone Golf Course, we appreciate them. PlayTimberstone.com. You can book your next tee time. You can get some lessons from Tad Holloway. They got the TrackMan simulators. They got some great golf apparel as well in the pro shop. But if you want to get out and work on your golf game, now's the time. Timberstone Golf Course. They are providing 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert tonight. We're very thankful of them. We're going to give those away in 60 seconds. But first, want to thank Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. The #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. No home is too big or too small. Check him out. Next time you're looking to buy or sell a home, Matt Bauscher and his team are ready to help you out. BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, they got the new app. Go download the Ridley's app. The Ridley's app is available. ShopRidleys.com. You can find a location near you. 13 Idaho locations. Love that Kuna location. But again, go download the Ridley's app in your phone app store, and you get significant savings from Ridley's Family Markets. You're looking for business insurance? United Commercial Insurance can help you out. 229-8222. UnitedCommercialInsurance.com makes business insurance easy, and we appreciate them. Again, 44 states around the country, they can write business policy insurance, so pretty much anywhere in the United States. So if you're a business owner, I know we got a lot on here, check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com, and BoiseDentistryCo.com. BoiseDentistryCo.com. We got locations across the Treasure Valley. Love Dr. Miner, does a tremendous job. My dentist, my family dentist. So full family dentistry. Check them out at BoiseDentistryCo.com. Okay, Jay, we got some cool Boise State NIL news, but quickly, we're giving away 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert tonight. What's the trivia question?
Okay, so I'm going to give you an answer, and then you have to provide the answer.
And again, it's going to be the first person that is a paying subscriber to BroncoNationNews.com that can reply in the YouTube chat with the answer. And you can have 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert tonight, courtesy of Timberstone Golf Course.
Boise State, the men's basketball team, Boise State has 30 total wins over Mountain West opponents in the last 2 years combined. 15 last regular season, 13 this 12 this regular season, and 3 in the Mountain West Conference tournament last year, right? So 30 total wins over Mountain West opponents combined. Who is behind them immediately on that list? And how many more wins does Boise State have than them over Mountain West teams? Does that make sense?
Correct. You got to give the correct number too.
Yes.
Last 2 years, who is second in Mountain West wins, both regular season and postseason tournament, and how many behind are they of Boise State?
Yeah, just Mountain West wins, by the way, over Mountain West teams.
Over Mountain West teams.
Boise State has 30
conference games, and then the conference tournament the last 2 years.
Yes.
Boise State is first.
Who's second on that list? And how many wins are they behind Boise State?
Can you see the chat?
No.
Oh, you don't have access to the chat. Okay.
No.
We got some when they come in here. Okay, I'm going to start throwing them out here. Then you tell me if they're right. Josh is our first guest. San Diego State and 2 behind.
See, that's what this is definitely Googleable or searchable or whatever. But okay. I wanted to reward somebody because I felt like there would be the intense basketball fan out there that would know. And Josh, my man, you are going to go.
On mine, I had Josh. It was first, barely behind Brandon, who also had the correct answer. Curtis Cahoon, Nate Staley. Guys, I appreciate all of you. But
I love it, man.
The first one in my feed was Josh DeWitt. So, Josh, email me, rains@bronconationnews.com, rains@bronconationnews.com, Josh, and we will hook you up with 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
I wanted that one because I knew that people could go out and search it in 30 seconds or a minute or something like that. So we wouldn't be here forever. But I also figured that there would be at least a few intense fans that might, watch your show daily, BJ, or go to basketball games that might actually know that metric.
All right, well, we do have some cool kind of breaking news that we wanted to get to, Jay. And our friend Mike Walsh over at Boise State does an outstanding job running the NIL program there and a lot of other things at Boise State. Just sent out the press release and is nice enough on short notice to join us for a couple of minutes and talk about this. Mike Walsh, we appreciate you joining us, man. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me, BJ and Jay. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, and I know it was short notice. We appreciate you jumping on, but obviously some cool news. You guys are adding to the trading cards here with Boise State. Tell us about the announcement.
Yeah, super exciting day for us here. Jackson's obviously such a great partner for us locally and in town, and what they were able to do with the football trading cards in the fall and the success that they were able to see with that, and knowing that it was kind of the first of its kind, and we were really the first ones to do it with everybody on the team and the way the licensing worked. And they, Jackson's wanted to figure out a way to continue that momentum and that trend. And man, I tell you what, they did it in spades. This release that we just went out and joint with them, in tandem with them. Every single student athlete at Boise State will have the opportunity to participate during the 23-24 academic year. Every sport will be featured in the trading card series for 23-24, released seasonally over 3 different drops. And so the sports will be divided up seasonally through there. But maybe even better than that, right away, there's going to be a winter drop this coming week that'll include men's basketball, women's basketball, gymnastics, and spirit squad. So every student athlete from those programs is going to be included in those packs. It's a really, really cool deal.
Now, I don't want to gloss over something you just said there. Every single sport at Boise State, every student athlete at Boise State will have the opportunity to have trading cards made at Jackson's, and you guys are the first school in the entire country that now will have name, image, and likeness deals with trading cards for every student athlete in the entire athletic department. That's a huge deal, Mike. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Obviously not possible without Jackson's, and then on it, the marketing firm in town that's helped out with so much of the printing logistics and packaging and getting all of that done, especially on short notices and turnarounds, and really making it possible for this to be, pretty organic to where we can capitalize on opportunities. And, that's part of it. Obviously, you guys talk about the men's basketball success, and you've talked plenty about it, and for good reason. Gymnastics coming off a nationally ranked victory last week, the big 10.0 from Emily Lopez on bars the other week. Women's basketball really hitting their stride lately, winning 7 out of 8. I mean, it's just, there's no better time right now than to capitalize on what's going on and being able to make these things happen in such short orders because of the local partners and vendors that we have that are willing to jump in here and take some risk and take some chances. But we also think that Bronco Nation has really stepped up, obviously, with the football cards. And it seems pretty low risk, to be able to take on opportunities like this because there's so many people that support it. So it's an awesome deal.
I love that you say low risk, Mike, because I know that when the football cards were made that, there was some anticipation to see how it would actually, go over. And it seemed like it was a roaring success, but the details better than we do. So what was the actual level of success from the football cards? And then how long did it take you guys to start working on this project, which is going to feature, a much broader range of sports and student athletes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there really could have been any more success with the football cards. I mean, maybe as a matter of, tenths of percentages points as far as, being able to sell out. It was incredible. The way that our fan base responded to that and nationally the response to that, it was so awesome. And, that made it certainly an easier conversation, I think, for everybody to say, hey, let's find a way. Let's figure out a way to expand this. And it was a conversation on the front end before the football cards were ever even produced that this was a route that we wanted to be able to explore, but we needed some proof of concept and needed to be able to say that this works in this market. And so again, huge thanks to everybody in Bronco Nation who made that possible and came to that realization. And then, from there, it does take time. There's a lot that goes into this, and not to mention the NCAA stepped in with some new interpretations on NIL legislation that we had to sort out as well and make sure that things were still above board and going the right way. And again, that's where, the local flavor with Jackson's, with On It, and then with Bronco Sports Properties, our Learfield property, who has really, really helped out in this area, with Jackson's being an official sponsor and a large official sponsor, and the way that we're able to work together that way with Bronco Sports Properties. It's such a team effort from everybody. All the way down to, obviously student athletes, but even directors of ops and assistant coaches helping to gather some photos and times and everything to get people together. And so it has taken an entire team, and it's been really impressive to watch. And it's just so awesome to have it come together today and finally get the news out there.
Mike, for you guys over there at Boise State, I know that you take a lot of pride in your in-house NIL setup. There are so many parts to NIL, and some of it is exterior with collectives and all that stuff or whatever. But when it comes to deals like the one that you guys are announcing today, how genuinely do you feel like this operates in the spirit of what NIL was kind of maybe meant to be or is supposed to be? Because I know you are fiercely passionate about it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I am. And I do believe that this is what it was intended to be. Not to say that, the new directions that I didn't see coming are all outside of that scope either. There's a lot of really innovative, cool stuff that a lot of people are doing, even through the collectives. But for us, when we set out to create this program and the in-house group license that we created and everything, this was the idea. An idea that a local company would see a business opportunity that provided not only brand recognition, but also legitimate ROI through leveraging the power of our student athletes and the Bronco brand when you put it together with the Boise State brand. And so this really is a microcosm of what we thought that NIL could be for Boise State, and especially in a place like Boise, where there is no professional sports organization. And, we are very much the show in town when it comes to high-level sports entertainment and teams to follow. And so this is what we knew was possible in Boise, and why we were so aggressive about the way we set things up, and to see it continue to come to fruition because people locally believe in it it's really cool.
Well, Mike, final thing for me. Just so you mentioned, that the winter sports are coming soon. I know there were some autographed cards for the football team. Is there anything coming with that for basketball? Somebody's asking, is there a way to buy a complete set? I don't know if that's the case, but just in general, maybe just final thing, give us the details on when and where these cards will be available and how quickly the rollout comes and all that stuff.
Yeah, so in production right now, but obviously, with basketball season winding down and a lot of opportunity coming up, we're looking to take advantage of that. We heard the cries last time for other ways to purchase the cards, and I can't make promises at this point, but I can tell you that we are exploring all options, and that I trust that there will be, through Jackson's, there will be some more opportunities for people, especially outside the market, to be able to participate. But the cards, every pack will include 15 cards, just like we did last time. 1 out of every 10 packs will include an additional card that'll be autographed. So there's 6 different athletes within the set that have provided autographs for these cards. And then one thing that I really appreciate about how this was put together is the way that the packs will be constructed will guarantee you a cross-section of sports. And so you're guaranteed to get 3 men's basketball cards, 3 women's basketball cards, 3 gymnastics cards, and 2 Spirit Squad cards in each pack. And then there's some wild cards throughout. So you could end up with 5 or 6 men's or women's basketball cards, or you could have 3, but you're guaranteed to get 3. Every men's basketball player, every women's basketball player is going to have 2 unique cards. And then, like I mentioned, there's the 6 signature cards that are the holographic metallic look that have the signatures and sequentially numbered and everything. So very similar program, but obviously with more people involved Became a few more logistics to put together, but we got there, and we got there just in time to really capitalize on a postseason run here, and it's going to be awesome.
So that'll be available at the Jacksons starting sometime next week, you said. And are all the players paid the same amount, or is it different based on their value and things like that, or how's that work?
Yeah, so it's different based on essentially the number of cards that are licensed, and obviously the autograph carries a different requirement there, and so there's compensation for that as well. But yeah, the licensing is all based on how many cards you appear on.
Awesome. Well, we'll be checking it out. Jay, you got something quickly you want to add?
Well, I was going to ask you how many freaking packs of cards I'm going to have to buy to try to find a Najee Smith autograph card. I feel like that for me is going to be the goal if I was a Boise State fan. But one thing I did want to ask you about too is on it, because I know that they kind of operate with they do operate with an incredible amount of integrity. Like they're not just like there's a method. Like you just can't. They're not just going to give away like a card or anything like that. Like you kind of have to go out and earn these packs of cards, at least the way that it was kind of constructed with football. So maybe just a little about your guys' relationship with On It and the integrity that they operate, and also the quality that they have.
Yeah, Jay, I know you've spoken with those guys at times during the football rollout, but what they have put together for a local printing vendor, I mean, I feel somewhat embarrassed to even call them that because of what they produce and the capabilities that they have. I mean, they're as good as it gets out there. That they are why this is possible. They're why you're seeing schools across the country lean on them to get a lot of their card sets done, maybe in a different fashion than we're doing. But it's not simple. It's not easy to do this at scale. And they have found a way to really make it possible and make it something that, can get done in not only a quick fashion, but the scale that they do it at. And you mentioned the integrity. I mean, they have so many checks and balances in place to ensure that the right number of cards and the variable data that they put in and the number of the quantity of maybe each athlete and the way that they're weighted to ensure that the packs are consumer friendly. And they put a ton of thought into it, and this isn't possible without them, without a doubt. So I'm really excited to have them on board too.
And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, so I'm just going to vaguely hint at it. I don't think that they're done. I don't think that you guys are done. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. I don't want to get.
There is too much potential and capability with them for this to be the only thing that gets done.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Mike, we really appreciate your time, man. Again, 6 autographed cards are mixed in, 1 out of every 10 packs. Tyson Degenhart, Marcus Shaver Jr., Najee Smith, Abby Muse, Mary Kay Nero, and Adriana Pop from the gymnastics team. As you mentioned, it'll come out throughout next year, but the winter sports will be coming out here in the near future, be available at the 104 local Jackson's locations around town, and you get that set for, I believe it's $12.99. So, Mike, really appreciate it on short notice your time. Congratulations on the news, and we'll be hoping you sell a lot of cards and paying attention to what you guys are still doing with that NIL program there.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me on, fellas. Enjoy your day.
Appreciate it. You too. There he is, Mike Walsh. And Jay, going to wrap the show up here, but that's pretty cool news for Boise State. And I know we went a little long, but we had the chance to get Mike on. We wanted to go ahead and do that because that's a pretty cool day for Boise State and for a lot of the athletes in, the softball program and the, women's basketball and volleyball and soccer and track and field and all the different sports that maybe, they work and train just as hard as the football and men's basketball players and don't necessarily get the recognition. I'm not sure a gymnastics or women's soccer player ever grew up dreaming they'd have the opportunity to be on a trading card, and now they do, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Spirit Squad included, all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of there's obviously a lot going on in the NIL space right now. Good, bad, or indifferent. This is the good, for no doubt in my mind. This is the good. This is what the spirit of it was intended to be. And now you're gonna, as you said, cross a number of sports. You're gonna have athletes. They're gonna have trading cards. Like I really think that's just a cool deal. And Boise State can say that they're the first to do it, and they're innovative. Mike Walsh is extremely, extremely good at his job, and he proved it once again today. I know that he wouldn't probably really take the recognition that he's deserved and due, but we'll say it because he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, go get those cards. They'll be available next week. And Josh, make sure you email me. You won the 2 tickets to the Old Dominion concert for tonight on Jay's question. So Josh DeWitt, congratulations. A lot of you guys had the right answer, but Josh was first. So email me, Rains@Bronco Nation News, Josh, and we'll get you the 2 tickets. Congratulations. Jay, appreciate your time as always. And big game tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we'll be back to preview what could be the game of not this year, but the game of several years. I mean, this could be the biggest game in recent memory for Boise State if it works up and first place is on the line and chance to clinch even for either team. The winning team would clinch first place if tomorrow night New Mexico wins and Boise State wins. It could be pretty cool.
Massive.
Appreciate it, Jay. Have a great day. Thanks to all you guys for checking us out. Go download our app. Go sign up for the golf tournament. We'd love to have you sign up on YouTube as well. So have a great day. We'll talk to you later. By the way, I'm filling in 3 to 6. Thankfully, I'm with Prater, not with Johnny, but I am filling in 3 to 6 today. Idaho Sports Talk. So if you're bored this afternoon, come listen to me and Prater for 3 hours. Idaho Sports Talk from 3 to 6. So have a great day. Thanks to Jay. Thanks to you. We'll talk to you later.